What's up, guys? This is Crazy Pretzel here, coming to you live outside on November 5th, 2020. Happy November, everybody. I'm not sure if I have done a video since November started, but if not, happy November 2020. You can see the fire pit over there. It's still the epic battle of fall here when the leaves come down and it's man versus leaves. So, of course, in my case, I use a combination of a leaf blower and a rake to get the leaves up, and then they get burned in the fire pit. So, I've got two of them. That one over there is for smaller piles, and then that one over there is more for like the hardcore bigger piles. So I tend to use that one more during the fall because a lot of times when I'm doing leaves, I fill up that car off in the distance back there with a container of leaves, throw it in the fire, and then the flames shoot up, and then we repeat and all that good stuff. So I used to hate raking leaves outside, but now I'm kind of like enjoying it. I kind of like yard work, because when you work in healthcare and you're constantly stressed and whatnot, people like always kind of getting on your ass, and you work long hours and whatnot. Yard work, in a way, it's kind of like peaceful work or something. It's kind of like mentally relieving or something. Or if you have to watch garbage like AEW Dynamite, then you need to do a little bit of yard work and leaves to ease your mind. So, before I go into the show, today's show was brought to you by bacon. This is Appleton Farms bacon. I haven't tried it. My girlfriend got it for me. But if it's bacon and it tastes like normal bacon, we're probably going to like it. So, bacon rocks. So, my camera's a little shaky and falls over. I apologize. I'm outside today. So, I need to get like a little like camera stand or something. So, my camera is like old school. It's like an old school flip video camera. Not even sure if they make these anymore or if they're more upgraded and modified or something. So, you know what? Let me put my phone behind this and then, yeah, that'll station it. Yeah, Crazy Pretzel's smart. Maybe I'm not that smart. I watched AEW Dynamite, so. Alright, so we're going to go into this show here. This show sucked, man. This show was so boring. Like, this show probably got one of the lowest scorings of the Dynamite I've given it, like, in a long time. I don't know, it's like, I feel like on this show they tried to be a little less goofy or something and tried to be a bit more serious, but even like the seriousness of this show was still stupid and lame. So we start the show off here. This show was on November 4th edition, so yesterday, today being Thursday. So, show opens up, we have Jericho, Hager, and Ortiz backstage, like, talking to Dasha or whatever, and Jericho's like says he's going to be doing commentary tonight on the show, and then MJF and Wardlow show up, and I don't know, MJF says something about like trying to say that he'd be good for the inner circle because like there's a storyline where he's trying to join up with them or whatever, and like Sammy Guevara and Ortiz don't want him in the group and whatnot. So Jericho says that he doesn't have the killer instinct and calls MJF soft, and then apparently there's a match at the Full Gear pay-per-view this Saturday where it's MJF versus Jericho, and if MJF wins, he can join Inner Circle. So, super exciting. I guess, I don't know. I really don't want to see MJF doing this feud right now. I liked when MJF was doing his own, like, solo shit with other people. Wardlow beating up people in the background for him, like in matches or just backstage, and him doing his own thing. So, I don't know why he's got to do this faction storyline stuff. And I get why he said there was that promo a while back when he said he's got to join up with a faction or something, because that's like the hip thing to do in the company, but it's stupid. So, I'd rather watch Bacon than, have to watch that, so. Alright, so we got our opening match on the show. It's Sammy Guevara and Ortiz versus MJF and Wardlow. So, my question for this match, who are the good guys? Who are the bad guys? Ortiz and Guevara are bad guys, right? MJF and Wardlow are bad guys. So, where's the epic good guy versus bad guy stuff in this company? You know what I'm saying? I'm not, like, opposed to, like, a bad guy versus a bad guy match here and there. But this company, like, has, like, no concept of, like, who's a good guy, who's a bad guy. Who am I supposed to root for? Who am I supposed to hate or whatever? You know what I'm saying? It's like, imagine like watching like a a superhero movie or something, and it's like bad guy versus bad guy on the movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to root for somebody. I mean, you can like the bad guy, that's no problem, but eventually the good guy's got to beat the bad guy, right? I mean, that's what keeps it going, because if evil triumphs, then the world's taken over, and that's the end of life as we know it and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So, how does that work for wrestling? Bad guy versus bad guy. It doesn't. It's stupid. So, alright, so this match went 15 minutes. A tag team match going 15 minutes. The usual AEW stuff. So, like I said, we got my grading scale on how I grade these matches. We've got, divide a circle into 4. We've got time, which a 5 to 10 minute match is normal for TV. If it goes over that, we take points off. We've got selling in the match. If the guys don't sell, or they F up on their selling or something, we take a point off. Goofiness, referee, retardation, rules being enforced, I grade that as well in the match. And my other category could be if it was actually entertaining, or something cool happened, or if I just absolutely was bored in my mind out of it. So, alright, so the match starts off. We got pretty much like, we got Guevara and Ortiz basically wrestling as the good guys, even though they're bad guys in this match, because like MJF and Wardlow were double teaming Ortiz for a while. Ortiz eventually tagged in Guevara. Guevara started, doing the House of Fire babyface tagging thing. He hits twisting tope suicidas on both MJF and Wardlow on the outside. Then he gets MJF in some weird back suplex move, but instead of like just dropping him with a suplex, he kicks him and then drops him or something weird. Got a 2 count on that. Guevara Ortiz clotheslines Wardlow out of the ring, and then Guevara hits his finishing move on MJF. They call it the GTH because it's like CM Punk had the GTS or something. Well, Guevara's is like a flip, like a reversal of it or something. I'm guessing it's called Go to Hell, because I don't know what GTH stands for. So, I mean, what does it stand for? You tell me, what does it stand for? So, Wardlow breaks up the pinfall. Then we have this goofy-ass, the Tower of Doom spot where it's like, you got the 2 guys on the guy on the turnbuckle, the other guy here, and then the 2 guys from the bottom, like, powerbomb somebody while the guy, like, up here superplexes the guy, and everybody crashes to the ground and burns, and they call that the Tower of Doom or something, right? So they pretty much do this spot. MJF is on the top rope, and then Ortiz, I think, is going to suplex him or something, and then, like, Guevara, like, gets in there or something, and then, like, Wardlow shows up. I don't know, Wardlow, like, ends up, like, powerbombing, like, 2... Oh, that's right, they were going to double-team superplex MJF, and then Wardlow ends up double power-up bombing both guys while MJF goes flying in a superplex. So he hurt his own guy to beat up the 2 guys. I wrote the fuck on that. Then Wardlow tagged himself in. He tried to like pin. He tried to pin one of the guys, and then it got broken up by Guevara. He did like a frog splash on him. Sammy hits some kind of goofy like somersault double axe handle move to MJF on the outside of the ring. Like it's a double axe handle, but fancy because he flipped with it or something. So then Guevara's on the outside, and then Matt Hardy shows up, and like he's disguised as Serpentico, that epic jobber wrestler that main evented a couple of weeks ago, main event caliber. So he shows up or whatever, and then it's Matt Hardy disguised. He has a steel chair. He throws a steel chair at Guevara, which knocks him out. I don't know how the ref doesn't like notice that Guevara's just knocked out on the floor for no reason, but whatever. Then MJF locks in the. He hits some kind of jumping off the top rope stomp or whatever on Ortiz's arm, and then locks in a Fujiwara armbar, which they call the salt of the earth, and he makes him tap out. So that was our first epic match. Now, and then post-match, MJF, Jericho's doing commentary. MJF goes up to the announcer's table to attack him or whatever. And guess who we see there? We see Santana there. Why in the hell did Santana and Ortiz not team up to take on MJF and Wardlow? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that Ortiz and Guevara are like in the same group, but why would like his Ortiz's normal tag partner not team up with them? It was stupid. I thought it was really stupid. So, next on our show, we've got Tony Schiavone interviewing Kenny Omega. And he's like, he thanks Omega for inviting him to his home, because it was like in somebody's house or something. And then Omega says like that it wasn't his house. And then they just go on talking about like the match he's going to have with Paige. So my question, who the fuck's house was this? That's pretty much what I got out of this. So, I don't know, they go on about like, Omega asks him like, you know, who's he betting on to win and how he should bet on him and blah, blah, blah. It was boring. So, boring stuff. I was more interested on whose house that was versus what this was. So our next matchup is Miro, the best man, versus Trent. Yes, the epic match of a storyline where Trent got thrown in a tag team match, got thrown through the cardboard arcade machine, and it broke it, and then the whole feud is based off that. So, you know what makes more sense? How fire like can burn wood over there, but like the wood doesn't fully like crumble to ashes right away, like depending on how like I don't know how like the wood could be moist or sturdy or something. Yeah, the science of that is more entertaining than this storyline. So, okay, so before this match starts, they show some weird ass goofy interview. It's like a 3-way little social media interview. Maybe it was Twitch or Skype. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really know much about social media stuff other than I have Facebook. So that's all I have, because I don't feel I need to subject myself to the retardation of social media outside of that. So, because people are fucking cuckoo nowadays, and if you say something wrong, like, as you know, WJ would say, they just attack you for no reason or whatever because you disagree or something. So, plus, if they really disagree with you, they get a rake and just rake you across the face with it. So, yeah, I'm staying out of there. I'm staying out of that danger zone, man. Whoa. So they have this goofy-ass 3-way interview before this or whatever with Miro and Trent talking to each other. The rusted sword was in the middle of it, Excalibur. I'm not calling him Excalibur because Excalibur is supposed to be the mightiest sword in the land, while this phony, he's like the most rusted sword in the land. So the rusted sword is my name for this phony. So what does Trent do to insult Miro? He calls him a young boy, which apparently Jericho has to translate to us means that it's he calls him a student, essentially. So this is a TV-14 show, again, and you got Trent, like, you know, instead of saying, you know, you're a little bitch, I'm gonna kick your ass or something, you know, that might be like, whoa, you know, versus you're a young boy. Yeah. These guys are like the same age. They're like in their 30s or something. You know what I'm saying? Stupid. So this match starts off. This match, the segment and the match itself went 14 minutes. So again, another boring match that goes too fucking long on this show. Match starts off. Miro back suplexes Trent. He does a vertical suplex and back elbow. For some reason, after a few minutes, like about 5 minutes into it, Chuck Taylor just shows up and attacks Kip Sabian outside the ring for no reason. Like, Sabian wasn't trying to interfere in the match at all and wasn't doing anything. Neither was Penelope Ford. So just Chuck Taylor shows up for no reason to attack him or whatever. They go to the picture-in-picture, which Jim Ross is more excited about versus this show, which I don't blame him. During the picture-in-picture, they show Penelope Ford, like, slapping Orange Cassidy. He was at ringside. So he slaps Orange Cassidy, and then Cassidy, like, takes her sunglasses off and puts her sunglasses on him, which was kind of goofy. It was all right. Like, I wasn't, like, offended by it. But then, during the picture-in-picture, the Dark Order jobbers come out and attack Orange Cassidy. And, so what happens? There's like 4 of them, right? 4 guys, and then the ref and Miro come out and scare them away, and they take off running. 4 guys running away from a referee that's not going to do fuck all and Miro. I mean, no offense. Yeah, Miro looks like a beast. Strong looking. Looks like he could kick your ass. But there's 4 of them. There's 4 guys that could, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. I wrote what the fuck on that. Then this match continues. Like, at this point, like, the match, you know, should have been over. Like, even before the picture-in-picture, like, I don't understand why, like, you know, Miro's gonna win. Why doesn't he just win quick and, you know, impressively or whatever, right? So, no, this match continues. We come back. Miro's got a bear hug on Trent. And then Trent counters it with a jawbreaker. And then he clotheslines Miro down for a 1 count. Then Trent hits a half Nelson suplex for a 2 count on Miro. Miro no-sells it, gets up, and then he hits some big, like, I don't know, some big slam or whatever for a 2 count. Trent decides to no-sell after the 2 count. So hits a somersault dive over the rope onto Miro, then gets him back in the ring, hits a tornado DDT, and then hits a Daniel Bryan running knee for a 2 count, which Rusted Sword was trying to put over this match. He's got a dangerously devastating running knee, or something like that. He's trying to put that over, but yeah, then he hits it and gets a 2 count. So, yeah, that was devastating, Excalibur. Well, my bad. Rusted Sword, very devastating. That's why he's a Rusted Sword. Trent botches some springboard move he was going to, crashes to the ring, and then Rusev, that's when he was more entertaining. Miro hits a Machka kick and he puts him in the accolade, and then Trent taps out. And then we had some stupid stuff after the match, like Chuck Taylor, like Miro and Kip Sabian are like trying to beat up Trent more. Chuck Taylor comes out to try to save him. He does kind of save him like for a bit, then they start beating those guys up. They're outside the ring, and then Orange Cassidy goes up to the top rope and then just jumps on Miro and Sabian, and then both of them just get up and no-sell it, and then there's just the refs or people are keeping them pulled apart. So another high spot with no selling. So this match sucked. It was too long. And then add the no selling toward the end. Got a quarter point. So wasn't there a match before this? Oh yeah, that got a quarter point too. Oh yeah, that was that epic tag team match. So see, I've already forgotten what I talked about because that's how memorable this show was. Next we have Jim Ross talking with Adam Page in a sit-down interview. Adam Page drinking as usual. Jim Ross asked him an interesting question if he was nervous and whatnot, and Page was trying to be like, yeah, I'm nervous. I'm nervous, or whatever. And like, that was like the most realistic thing I've seen from him or whatever from his character. But yeah, they're supposed to be promoting this epic match between him and Omega. I don't care, man. You know what I'm saying? These guys have no characters. Like, there's no character to, like, their individual whatever they are. I don't know. Jim Ross tells them to drink in moderation. So, because Jim Ross was looking out for safety and fighting off cirrhosis of the liver, this got a quarter point. We're going to talk about cirrhosis of the liver because why not? We need to talk about something exciting in this video. So, cirrhosis of the liver is a disease where your liver becomes, like, really fucked up. Like, it, like, deteriorates, and that can be a good big cause of it is, like, drinking too much alcohol, binge drinking, or whatever. There's other causes that can cause it too, like hepatitis and other things like that. But yeah, it's a nasty disease. Liver does a lot of shit for your body. It makes your, like, blood clotting factors. It like, works with, it, like, helps regulate your, like, blood glucose regulation and stuff. It, like, breaks down and detoxifies, like, all the medications people take. It, like, breaks down, it, like, has a byproduct that breaks down ammonia in the body, called into urea, which gets eliminated by the kidneys. Liver does a lot of shit, man, right? So, don't fuck up your liver, people. If you like to drink, you know, drink in moderation, but don't overdrink. Let your body heal itself and whatnot, because you get liver cirrhosis, you're going to be taking medication called lactulose, which, like, keeps the ammonia in your body down because it makes you shit it out because your liver can't break it down anymore. So if you don't want to shit for a lot, yeah, take care of your liver, man. So, not to mention, too, you, like, your skin can get, like, real thin and stuff, too, and, like, you get, like, cuts and stuff easily and bleed easily. So, yeah, it's not a fun disease, man. I've taken care of it, and yeah. So, oh shit. So don't get liver cirrhosis. So, all right, going back to the show, that was more, like I said, that was more exciting than this show was. Next, we got a video package of FTR versus the Young Bucks. Apparently, if the Young Bucks don't beat FTR, they'll never challenge for the tag titles again. So, does that mean we'll never see them on TV again if they lose? That would be awesome. So, this storyline sucks, by the way. Like, in the package, you see, like, all the wrestlers putting these two guys over as, like, the two best teams, like, in the business or whatever. And, SCU says how they're both teams are the toughest they faced in the ring and stuff, and Billy Gunn talks about how the Young Bucks have this attitude change, and now they're, more focused or whatever, or more dangerous or something. And yeah, I'm bored by this feud because, like I said, who's the good guy? Who's the bad guy? You got FTR that are supposed to be bad guys, right? Even like a couple weeks ago, they beat up the Young Bucks or whatever, who are bad guys or something, which really they should be good guys because they beat up the Young Bucks who were attacking announcers and shit backstage. You know what I'm saying? Refs, announcers, and whatnot. So really, the FTR should be the good guys and the Young Bucks should be the bad guys, right? Well, the way if you see the Young Bucks wrestle later on in the show, it looks like they're fucking good guys. Who the fuck's the good guy? Who the fuck's the bad guy? I give two fucks about this match because, again, what's the story? The story is that it sucks. So, yeah, I didn't like this video package. Next, we have Team Taz coming out. It's Taz, Brian Cage, and Ricky Starks. Good promo by Taz. He talks about how he was waiting outside Tony Khan's office for 3 hours to talk to him, and then some guy came out and then said that he wouldn't talk to him or something. And then he rants about the AEW ranking system, which I liked because I always rant about this shit. Because like I said, Dark Order was number one contenders for the tag titles for a long ass time, but we never saw them wrestle for the tag titles. It was all these other guys wrestling for them. So how are they number one? Not to mention, they didn't beat anybody. Maybe they beat some jobbers on Dark or something. Who the fuck did they beat to be number one? So, ranking system AEW was fucking stupid. So, and what I liked about this was he talked about how Brian Cage has won 10 matches. Mikey, oh shit. We got a windstorm out here, a windstorm! Which is still more exciting than this show. So he talks about how Brian Cage has won 10 matches and only lost one match, and why he's not number one in the system. Or I think he is number one in the system, but he's not fighting for the world title or whatnot. And then Ricky Starks cuts a promo, and a nice little promo from him. Talks about how he's won 10 of his 11 matches and he's not even ranked. So, yeah. Retarded ass ranking system, AEW. Retarded. So, Taz rips on Cody and Darby being entitled, which I also enjoyed. By the way, Darby Allin was in the crowd at this show, so he heard that and never came down to address this, by the way. So hey, Darby Allin, you're too small and you suck. Oh, you're over there? Well, do something about it. Yeah, that's what I thought. You see, he's even afraid of me. So, all right. Next, we had Private Party versus the Young Bucks. Before the match starts, Sammy Guevara comes out to get revenge on Matt Hardy and hits him with a twist of fate on the ramp. That was cool. This match starts, Private Party versus the Young Bucks, and I fell asleep during the beginning of this match. I think it was about 6 in the morning or so. I got home from work around 4 or something last night. So, had an admit, had to send somebody out to the hospital. He had some blood work done, and his, creatinine and BUN was elevated, so he was having some signs of, dehydration and kidney issues and whatnot. So, his sodium was also high, another dehydration thing. And his white blood cell count was also elevated, so he might have had an infection. So, guy got sent out, and then it turned out that they admitted him because they called it acute renal failure. I've seen higher creatinines and shit, so to me that's not acute renal failure, but the guy was definitely very dehydrated and had lost some weight in the last week. So, yeah. So, I'm glad they admitted him. Hopefully they, fix him up and comes back to us and he's, good to go for a while. So, but yeah, that was my night last night. That and an admit and just lots of stuff going on. So, yeah, so I got home late and fell asleep during this match. Yeah, I fell asleep. So what? WJ said something so funny or whatever, he was doing, I forget, who he was ripping on. I think he was ripping on some, fans or something, and I forget which wrestler he was like. He was like, "Yeah, I suck his dick, so what?" or something. That was so funny. WJ's the man, by the way. So, all right. Anyway, so I woke up this morning and tried to watch the rest of this match. God, this was a boring match. So I think I must have skipped the first 5 minutes of it because I just started the second part of the show. Watched it online because I don't have DVR and I'm not paying for it, especially not to record this. So the referee for this match was that idiot Knox, the one that went to the ground for no reason in the FTR match or whatever because there was a ghost or a live grenade there, and also the same ref that I can't think of that Dark Order jobber Reynolds. I think his name was Reynolds, the guy that got knocked out in the four-way tag match and he didn't do fuck all to get him out of the ring. Yeah, that ref was refereeing this match. So if I was his boss, I'd have fired his ass a long time ago. So, all right. So where I started off from this match, Mark Quinn hits a double hurricanrana on the Young Bucks. Way to look tough, guys, for your epic match, taking like double moves from like these guys. Common sense, which the show doesn't have. Common sense would have been like this match would have gone like maybe 5 minutes, and the Young Bucks would have just kicked the shit out of these guys. Would have left the statement, right? No, they have like over a 10-minute match of competitive match with these guys. So, whatever. So, I saw the part where like Quinn hits a double hurricanrana and then tags in Isaiah or Isaac or whatever. Isaac does some flips and then hits a diamond cutter and a stunner on the Bucks and gets him out of the ring, and then he hits like some kind of twisting corkscrew dive on the Bucks or whatever. Gets him back in the ring, and then like 2 seconds later, Nick Jackson starts taking over again, thus no selling the big move he just took. He wants to tag in Matt, but Matt's sitting at the ringside holding his ankle. So I'm guessing this might have been selling from the FTR attack 2 weeks ago, maybe, but I don't know, because there wasn't anything in the match that he did that he hurt his ankle with. Don't really know. Don't really care. So that's going on. So then Nick Jackson starts kicking, punching the guys or whatever again. I heard a leaf blower outside at this point. Wished I was doing yard work today instead of watching the show. Private Party hit their finishing move, the gin and juice, which is like basically one of the guys like launches the other like opponent or something like off the corner, and then the one guy hits a diamond cutter or something. So when I heard gin and juice, it made me want to listen to Snoop Dogg's Gin and Juice because that also would have been more exciting than this show. So, but they hit their finishing move, and then Matt, with his bad ankle, dives and breaks it up, and then starts holding his ankle again to sell it. So we're already taking points off for not selling in this match. Isaiah goes for a shooting star press on Nick Jackson after they hit the finishing move, and then Matt comes in and spears the hell out of him. And then after 30 seconds of Nick taking the finishing move, he no-sells it, gets up and hits a running knee. And then this should have just been the finish, but it wasn't. It was a 2 count. The Bucks go for the Meltzer driver, which is basically one guy holds the guy for a tombstone, the other guy springs off, and then they do a tombstone, essentially. So they go for this move, but then Quinn rolls up Jackson in the ring for a 2 count, which Jackson then reverses for a 2 count, whatever. And then they hit the I think it was Nick hits a super quick on a super quick kick on Mark Quinn, and then they hit the BTE, which is a double knee move for a 3 count. What does the BTE stand for? Just like it's the GTH. What does the GTH stand for? How about you say the fucking name of these moves? BTE. The bitch through everything? I mean, what the fuck do these... What are the names of these moves? Abbreviations. How about having the balls and say what the name of the goddamn move is? Rage. Good to let it out. So then after this match, FTR decided to attack the Young Bucks. And then they do the spot where they're going to go for the jumping on... They're going to put the steel chair around Matt Jackson's ankle and go for the jumping spot to break his other ankle, right? So Adam Page comes out with a drink, and mind you, comes out, FTR, the two of them, and Tully Blanchard run away from him as fast as possible. He doesn't have a chair, a baseball bat, a gun, a knife, or anything. No, He just comes out with a glass, with a drink, and they run for their lives. What the fuck? And then they try to tease Omega and Paige talking trash to each other or talking to each other. Ooh, such epic dialogue for this and whatnot. Then we have Tony Schiavone in the ring with Eddie Kingston and Moxley doing a face-off, and apparently they can't have any physicality because if they do, then their match for the pay-per-view is off. So I guess it was an attempt to add some drama, but it would have been more exciting and better for them just to brawl with each other and then have a pull-apart, or it would have been nicer for Eddie Kingston to have his thugs come out and beat up Moxley, and then he can say, yeah, I didn't do any physicality. Didn't mean that I couldn't let these guys do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would have been awesome, too. But now, these guys are... I mean, their promo was... Their talking to each other stuff was okay. I don't know. Kingston said something about promising his mom something, and then Moxley said something about promising one of Kingston's family members something to look over him or something. I don't know. That was pretty much it. So, again, I gave this a half a point for a promo. The last, by the way, the last match got a complete X. So, I gave this a half a point. Like I said, the promo was alright, but it could have been better with the actual physicality beatdowns. Then we have a Pac video package of, he hasn't been at the show for 7 months. He talked about how, like, isolation can drive you a little crazy, which was kind of cool. I'm Crazy Pretzel, I kind of like that. Pac looks in great-ass shape, man. He can cut a decent promo. I'm a fan of this guy. WWE dropped the ball with him, in my opinion. So, isn't it funny how, like, AEW has, like, all these push WWE guys? Just saying. So, but yeah, Pac's a good talent, man. It'll be cool seeing him back. They probably won't do anything with him because he's another guy I actually like on the roster, but, you know, whatever. Then we have... Then this next segment was weird. Let me check my time real quick. Alright, I'm going to try to finish this up. So... next we have Brandy with Red Velvet in the ring. Who the fuck is Red Velvet? Cute looking girl, but who is she? So, they're in the ring. Then they cut to the back with the Natural Equations. Not calling them the Natural Nightmares because they're not scary at all, you know. But they're with Alex Marvez, who has the charisma of a fungal toenail. He's interviewing them. Dustin starts to talk, and then Allie just shows up, and then... thanks QT Marshall for the gifts he gave him, but the cards she has are maxed out. She throws some credit cards at him or something. And then Butcher and Blade show up with the kendo stick and they beat them up. And then Dustin gets like some kind of heavy backstage thing pushed down on top of him. And the commentators don't act like that's a big deal at all. So, yeah, it's nice to see a storyline for a storyline that never actually happened on this show. Like, you had Allie that They never explained why she left Blade in the first place, why she was making out with QT Marshall, dating him. Never showed any footage of them actually doing anything on camera, of being together and whatnot. No storytelling whatsoever. Eddie Kingston just talks to her, and then she's suddenly back with Blade. Now they're going to do a storyline, apparently. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? What the fuck? So then we have Brandon versus Red Velvet. Nyla Rose, Brandon, it's a transsexual man. Usually I would go with my Nyla Rose rule and just give this an X and say fuck all, but never really seen Red Velvet, so I kind of wanted to check her out. Not a bad-looking chick, mind you. Match pretty much starts off. She dominates Nyla Rose, like gets her in the corner, kicks her, stomps her, chokes her down. Nyla no-sells it, gets up. Red Velvet tries she hits a clothesline. Velvet tries a... Hurricane Rana, Nyla hits a Beast Bomb, or Brandon does, my bad. Brandon hits the Beast Bomb, 1, 2, 3. Was about to give this an X, but then Vicky Guerrero made this entertaining. She cuts a promo on Brandy and jokes how, like, you know, Red Velvet should be winning with Brandy in her corner, and she says something about... Alright, sorry about that, guys. My camera ran out of minutes there. I get 60 minutes, and then that's the end for my filming. That or a dead battery. So, Brandy's with Red Velvet on the outside of the ring, and then Vicky Guerrero cuts a promo on her and says like that she's like the chief executive officer or something, but she's not that. She's the CBO, like the chief bitch officer or something. And Brandy doesn't do anything because Nyla's there. I thought that was pretty funny. Then she goes up to Sheeta and starts ripping on Sheeta, and then like talks trash to her, which was kind of funny. And then Sheeta and Nyla start fighting with each other and just throwing terrible punches at each other. So that was that segment. Because Vicky was entertaining, I gave that a quarter point for that match/segment. They show us a Omega video packet, Omega Hangman Page video package, which I didn't care two fucks about because we already saw the interviews earlier, so there was no reason for this. I'm crazy, sure, but I'm not retarded. They run down the pay-per-view card for the show. I'm not spending $50 to watch this garbage. Then we have one match they announced was Serena Deeb versus Allison Kay. Allison Kay was this really cool chick in the NWA. And she, like, I liked her, but she, like, they show no, like, actual, like, video package of her. Look at all these leaves I gotta rake. So they show, like, no video package of her, like, whatsoever, like, on this show. So unless you've watched NWA, you ain't gonna know who the fuck she is. So, yeah, way to do a pay-per-view match for her, you know? You have 14, 15-minute matches or whatever. You can't just cut those down just to show, like, a couple minutes of a quick video package of Allison Kay and, like, have her cut a promo and let us actually get to know her or something, you know? That's what I love about this company. Oh, and they announce Penta versus Rey Fenix again next week, one-on-one, just for a match. No titles on the line, no tournament placements, just a match with the tag team for no reason. Then they show a cool thing. They showed like a little Darby Allin video promo. It's pretty much him getting in a car, and then there's a dude with a cardboard cutout of a Cody Rhodes mask on, and he runs over the guy. That was kind of cool. And then our main event, what a great main event this was. The Dark Order jobbers of John Silver, 10, and Colt Cabana versus Cody and the Gun Club. So you got 3 jobbers on the main event, and then you have the Gun Club making their debut on this epic AEW show. So, yeah, that's a great main event. That's going to bring in the dollar bills and all that good stuff. So, this actually wasn't too terrible of a match. It went 10 minutes. I think any offense John Silver does to guys, especially like a Billy Gunn or a Cody, which I don't think he did much offense to them. It was more toward, like, Billy Gunn's son. But John Silver is, like, 4 feet tall. So I don't see how the fuck he could do anything. Because like I said, I'm not in the best shape of anybody, but I can kick his ass. No problem. So, you hear that, John Silver? I'm challenging you to a fight. So, anyway, so this was a normal 6-man tag match. Austin Gunn gets some offense going at the beginning, and then he gets thrown in the corner. The Dark Order jobbers beat him up for a while. Cody gets tagged in. He beats up some people, and then I don't know, Austin Gunn hits his finishing move. They call it the quick draw, which is just like a hip toss neck breaker for a 3 count. So, and then Cody cuts some promo on Darby and talks how his title is the best title in the business, and it means more than the world title. Yeah, fucking right. So, yeah, the match got a half a point for me just because it went 10 minutes. It made my time limit, and there wasn't, I don't know, one of my other rules was, there was a loophole for one of my other rules. So, this show was terrible. Got a 4.75 out of 14. So, it definitely got a nice F, 34%. So, I don't recommend watching this show. If you want to watch anything on this show that was actually good, watch the Darby Allin video of him running over that Cody Rhodes looking dude. Watch the Pac video package, and watch Taz's little promo he did with Ricky Starks and Brian Cage. Well, Starks cut a decent promo, so yeah, watch those 3 things, and fuck the rest of the show. It was terrible. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good November. We'll probably catch you next week, or I'll catch you at some point for a UFC review. So, take it easy. Peace out.